or made a, try to make a bill of 30% quota or reservation, right? So, and that got a blunder and a failure, and that made a lot of chaos in Bangladesh country.
As far the policy says, every policy is not guaranteed to bring the development in the society.
So, due to less population, the per capita income is higher than India.
It's the formula of the bank that gives interest.
We are making a products. Suppose there's a quality issues. So in a market and customers, they are not going to purchase.
As a bureaucrat, if you want to become a bureaucrat, you should have the knowledge of public administration, and in the training as well.
As I have come to know about you that Mr. Sandeep, you are related to the software engineering and all, right? You are in the development, okay. And Mr. Mohit, you have introduced yourself as in the geopolitics and all, right? And Mr. Tayab Ali, you have introduced about yourself as you are expert in software development, and you are in business analyst. All right, okay, business analyst. And Mr. Sujit, you have expressed about yourself that you are in business administration or business scalability. And Mr. Himanshu, you have introduced about yourself in the co-pilot, like commercial pilot, and you are into the aviation industry. And Mr. Brajesh as geopolitics as well as in the banking sector. So I'll have a few quick questions and you will need to answer me. But first of all, I'll come to Mohit. Mr. Mohit, my first question is to you. First of all, what do you mean by geopolitics and what do you think about this?
As far as my knowledge is concerned, geopolitics is basically which deals with the overall situation of political, social, economic, and every structure of the societal and the political and the government setup, and what happens in the internal set of the country, and what is the empirical evidence that it leaves and impacts the other country in terms of trade, politics, and the cultural aspect of the world. That is basically the geopolitics.
In our India or in our nation, we have MBA, we have BBA, we have BGMC, MGMC, BA, BSc, BCom, but we are not very familiar to public administration courses, as we have public administration courses. So what do you think about this public policy, public administration, and how can we aware all the people that yes, public policy is must to know?
As I know, public policy and the public administration is a very old. As a bureaucrat, if you want to become a bureaucrat, you should have the knowledge of public administration, and in the training as well, people are trained and taught public administration as a course as well in the first foundation course. So public administration, it taught in JNU as well, it taught in Jamia as well, in Delhi school as well. So this course is very old, but it depends on the students and their genre and their adaptability and what they want, why they want to learn public administration. Because right now, if you talk about India, we don't have much scope if we go outside the government sector for jobs. When you are like studying public administration, you only have like you will become a assistant professor or you will go and research on that thing. But other than that, in corporate sector, there is no requirement of public administration people. So this is a very limited scope. So people don't like it and people don't opt for it. In later terms, I think there are more opportunities will be open as the new research areas are being opened up from the government. So
okay, that's great. So if you have to tell quick 3 benefits of public administration or public policy, so what are your messages or what are your 3 key points for the aspirants who want to actually pursue this course or pursue this industry?
As far as my research has been done, public administration is a very wide kind of subject area. It deals with so many aspects. Like first of all, it deals with the setup of the country, like how the constitution has been framed, the literal and the beneficial societal level, and what elements cover in terms of public administration and what elements that it brings out to the people. Like suppose an IAS officers want to rule the district as a DM. So knowledge of how we interact with the person, how he interact with the policies, and how we try to cover all the policies and bring the benefit to the end level of the person. So that is basically covered in the public administration, and person should be connected to the policy area, and how a person is getting the benefit of that policy is the subject area of that public administration and public policy. And public policy basically covers up the launch and the system behind the benefits of the scheme that is launched by the government, and it also covers up the technicalities of the scheme, like whether it suits the government at a very empirical level and at a very ground level or not.
So can we call the advisory organization? Can we
Yeah,
call
it is. Yeah, it is. It is.
It is.
Because there is a advisory board of Prime Minister office which only deals with that. Other than Niti Aayog, there is an advisory commission which always deals with that policy. Like suppose a policy comes like direct benefit transfer scheme comes up. So there is a researchers who research on that what is the empirical what is the benefits after 5 years. So suppose for any policy or there are some monetary policy advisory committee, so they are the researchers going on which always at a broader level comes into the public policy.
So I have actually one of the trending question here, like, Bangladesh made a policy or made a, try to make a bill of 30% quota or reservation, right? So, and that got a blunder and a failure, and that made a lot of chaos in Bangladesh country. So what about that scenario? Like, was there the policy maker or not the policy maker, and how did they do that and decide it?
Actually, basically, as far as my knowledge goes, I think this was basically driven to that culture and the population and the people who are residents of that particular country. But due to that policy, the mass mobilization and the mass thing which was not given positively, which was like not in the favor of that Bangladesh, which was like very negative in my sense. But I think as far the policy says, every policy is not guaranteed to bring the development in the society. Like if you
That's
bring
one statement that we have to agree. Yes.
suppose what we have seen, this is the start. This has all started with that thing, the decision of the Supreme Court of Bangladesh. So they occupied that quota, and after that, mass students' protests were going on. Protests started, but so that is the policy which started the thing, and how the things were started and where the things are going on. That is also a different questionable thing.
Absolutely.
So my answer is that yeah, we should be against the policy, but not in that level that it can harm all the people of the society and the
So
country.
Mr. Mohit has shared his points about the public policy and administration. Now I'm just reaching to Mr. Himanshu, and he is actually in the field of aviation industry and commercial pilot. That why did you choose this aviation first?
Good afternoon, everyone. So I chose this field because I was always fascinated by aircraft and pilots and the entire industry in general. So whenever I used to travel as a kid on an aircraft, so there was a sense of excitement from that point. And later, as a small kid or even as a teenager, so I used to watch this show called Air Crash Investigation, which used to come on National Geographic. So it was mostly like a documentary which showed what happened in the crash, what could the pilots have done, what could the ATC have done better. So that sort of really intrigued me and raised my interest towards this even more. So the idea of becoming a pilot and flying an aircraft was always there at the back of my head. But again, I initially chose to do engineering. And after engineering, when I went for my medicals, which is required to pursue this profession. So once I cleared my medicals and I saw that the industry is on the rise currently, and also people suggested that if you are motivated, you have done your medicals, so it's the right time to enter the industry. So then I took the pivot, and since last year, June, I'm into this particular field.
So I would like to ask you like that, whom would you like to give the credits of aviation invention and aviation origination? Whom do you think that they should be credited for this?
So there are two aspects of it. So obviously we know the Wright brothers who first developed the aircraft. It was them from which the development of aircraft and everything started. So that's the technical part of it. But now aviation is more of it's more driven by the business point of it. So if we talk about India, then JRD Tata is the pioneer of aviation.
Right.
Tata's, Indian Airlines. So those we have to really give credit when it comes to the start of aviation in India. And as of now, we really have to give credit to Indigo, because since 2005, the way they have operated their business, I think they are the only company which always have thousands of crores of profits. Every other company struggles to make profits, or they are always at a loss. They are always pretty shaky when they will whether they will be able to sustain or not. But that is a company which have really set the benchmark that in such a tough domain of aviation, one can still manage to make profits.
So if you have done the case study of Indigo, like what are the tasks that just being done by Indigo and that's not being done by Air India or it's Jet Airways or Vistara, like if we talk about other airlines, what are the things that Indigo is following to actually scale up its business and maintenance?
One thing which Indigo follows is a low cost model. So it is a low cost carrier compared to, let's say, Air India or Vistara, or let's say take example of Jet Airways, which was a full service carrier. So Indigo will take you from point A to point B on time without any delay in a very efficient manner. But it will not pamper the passengers. It will not give you quality, maybe a lot of food, complimentary food. It will not give you probably blankets. It will not give you earphones. It will not give you probably in-flight entertainment, which increases their operational costs and their operations. It becomes difficult to manage such operations. So, but their only USPs will take you from, let's say, Delhi to Kolkata or Delhi to Chennai on time. You need not be worried about any delays, any operational issues, any technical difficulties, because we have managed and sorted that very well. But if you want any more luxuries, then probably pay more and travel through other airlines like Air India, Vistara, which are providing those things at a higher cost. So they are catering to a certain target group, which aspires to fly by air, but again are not looking for such, let's say, business class or first class sort of a pampering treatment. So that has been their
in 16th century, Leonardo da Vinci actually imagined one thing, that one day something would be like this. He made a picture and something would be like this and it would be flying in the sky. And he imagined. So before Wright brothers, would you like to divert your credits to Leonardo da Vinci as well, that he imagined something like this?
We probably can give credit to Da Vinci, or there might be numerous others who might have developed the machine, but probably did not surface in the media. Many a times people also say there's something called Vimana Shastra, or we know about the Pushpak Vimana as well. So there are references being made that there are machines which were able to fly even before the machine which Wright brothers developed. But again, because of the lack of evidence, it is very hard to sort of come to a conclusion or inference that actually this was being made or actually it could fly. So those things are there, but the concrete evidence which we have is Wright brothers definitely developed a flying machine, and from then on, because the World War I started, so the push towards a technical advancement in aviation really catapulted and gave rise to the industry.
Exactly, right point and right statements. So especially technically, we can give credits to Wright brothers because even they give the wings to fly.
Correct.
And now I have one more question, as we can see the example of the Kingfisher that got bankrupt. We saw Air India, first of all, it was in hand of Tata, then it went into the government's hand, right? Again, it went into the hands of Tata. So don't you think like that airline or aviation industry is somewhere that, in very diplomatic situation or in very delicate situation, that it is not stable and people take it as a very charismatic job, right? They feel it, wow, I want to be a cabin crew, air hostess, flight attendant, I want to be a pilot. So don't you think that's full of darkness somewhere?
I won't say it's full of darkness, but what I would say that the hard work and the effort kind of gets hidden behind that glamour, as you mentioned. You go to an airport, you see nicely dressed people talking in English. You feel that okay, it's a very glamorous, it's a very charismatic profession. But if you look at the schedule of I won't say pilot, it's obviously there, but even of a cabin crew, let's say, they are one of the most overworked and underpaid people in the industry.
Right.
They are flying probably 80-90 hours in a month, which is not a joke. And that too, they are flying at odd hours. There are red-eye flights, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., then probably 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Sometimes there is no fixed schedule which the body has. The body clock is changing every 2-3 days. You are probably skipping breakfast, skipping lunch. You are eating hotel food every day, probably almost every day, which is again not very healthy, and people get bored of also. You cannot eat hotel food every day, and you're missing out on social events. You are away from family. So those things are there, Those things are kind of the cons of the job. But the biggest perk, aviation, or at least by being a pilot, is to fly an aircraft. In a country of 140 crores, there are 20,000 pilots in the country currently. So it is a very, very tiny fraction. So I'm very privileged to to join a certain group of people who have been able to do something which very few people have done. And obviously the other perks are getting to travel, getting to explore different places. And the third advantage which I see is the disjointness of work. Like in corporate, sometimes what happens is, or even in business, he might agree that the distinction between personal and professional life gets blurred sometimes. When the work pressure increases, or when you are very engaged and attached to your work. But here, no one can ask me to fly an aircraft when I'm at home. So when I come out of the airport, I am completely on my own.
Right.
And there are very strict regulations made by the government that a pilot can only fly these many hours. If he exceeds these many hours, then someone else has to be called. So many a times we see headlines ki the flight gets delayed because pilot says no to fly or something like that. But that happens because he has exceeded his maximum limit. He cannot exceed that, otherwise his license will be cancelled. So that disjointness is something which I prefer, and that's like the best part of anyone who is working in aviation, be it the ATC, be it cabin crew, be it pilot, be it ground staff. He's out of the airport, he cannot be asked to work.
That's great. Great answers. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank you
these
so
views and points about aviation industry. I would like to move to Mr. Brajesh, as you said that your expertise is somewhere banking, and you also said about geopolitics as well. So first of all, I would like to ask you, as Mr. Mohit also mentioned, one of the factor about Bangladesh, that it is somewhere GDP of the Bangladesh is higher than India. You mentioned it. Per capita
I
income.
mentioned
Per capita income. He mentioned that it is higher than India, right? So in the economics. So I want to know, being a banker and being geopolitical as well. So what do you think about this scenario? That how even now we can see the chaos in Bangladesh and India is stable. How this per capita income is higher than India? Do you have any?
Yeah, it is due to the less population in India. Per capita income basically depend upon the GDP per capita and the population what the country have. So due to less population, the per capita income is higher than India. It is not the only symbol that you can categorize that country is very developed.
Right.
Yeah.
So PCI is not actually a solution, or is not a kind of tagline for the development. You cannot say by seeing PCI, you cannot say that it is a developed country.
It is one of the symbol. It is one of the symbol. But this country we categorize, this is the only symbol that on the basis of which we can say that this country is very developed.
Right.
Because SDI, Human Development Index is on different parameters.
I want to be rich. Should I give money to bank or should I take money from bank?
It all depends on situation. Like in situation of Sujit should take money in order to boost his business. But if you have sufficient money, you should deposit in the bank and get sufficient interest. So it depends upon the situation what we have. If you have money, you should deposit and get interest, or invest in some areas to get better returns.
Let's compare between the ratio of inflation hike and interest rate, right? So what do you think? Inflation is quite hiking, and ratio of that interest rate is just stable, 7%, 6.5%. Max 8% hope. So what do you think about an inflation rate is somewhere 10% or 11%?
No, in our country, inflation is controlled.
Okay. So what is the percentage?
It is around 4 to 5% as of now.
It means that we can pay to the banks.
Yeah.
And take interest.
Interest is current 7.5% as of now. So it is very well balanced as on date.
Let me assume you as a startup. You have just done a startup. And suppose you have 2 crore rupees, and now you are going to spend this 2 crore rupees, or just deposit into the bank, or you are going to ask from the bank, give me 3 crore more, I will add 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, and I will invest 5 crore rupees into my business. What will be your policy?
For me, startup will be good.
Startup you're doing.
Yeah.
You have 2 crore rupees. You need money, right? You have done some investment, but for your promotion part and all, and branches and all, so you are going to invest or scale up your business. You have already 2 crore rupees. Now there are two options. One is to deposit this money or amount into the bank. Let's deposit into the bank. Or one is to keep this amount and go to the bank and ask for 3 more crore rupees. What will be the right option and right choice for you?
I think Depositing money is for the purpose of getting more interest or multiplication.
I think you're not thinking into the directions of the business people, right? You're thinking as a banker,
As a banker, yes.
right? You're
I'm
thinking as a banker. You are
yeah.
right somewhere because
Right.
you are thinking about the security and safety of the
Correct.
people's money and
Correct.
amount.
Correct.
So, is there any chance, any possibility of bankruptcy or insolvency, or that losing money when we are depositing to the bank, as we saw the example of the bankruptcy of the which bank was Dena Bank was there?
Yes, Bank.
Yes Bank was
Yes
there,
Bank.
right? It got bankrupt.
Hmm.
So somewhere, is there any chance of that bankruptcy or insolvency, and now we are going to lose our money?
No, there is always a chance. If bank fails, then it will affect the money what we have deposited in the banks. But there is a policy that government has formulated. Your amount of up to 5 lakh rupees will be protected as per the insurance given by Government of India.
Should we increase the percentage of the CRR, cash reserve ratio, that all the banks pay to the RBI, Reserve Bank of India?
It basically depends upon the situation. Current situation, not we are not in a situation to increase CRR. So situation is as of now maintained.
How do you see demonetization
Yeah,
as a
develop-
banker?
Yeah, and as a banker, it was stressful. It was stressful, and it was not managed by the Government of India properly.
It was not managed.
Not managed.
You are just claiming or blaming being a banker or being
no,
opposite
being
of
a,
the
being a being an individual
team,
authority.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm an individual authority. I'm saying
because
that
you have a future plan to be a politician,
I can say that
right?
it was not managed. The government have taken that step in a not a planned manner.
Okay.
So it was somehow failed, in my
Somehow
opinion.
it-
As a
in
banker,
your
I'm saying
opinion,
that.
As a banker. It was quite stressful. The long queues.
It was
chaos
quite
and all.
stressful, and government has formulated this policy in a very in a hurry manner, you can say. They have taken all these steps in tits and bits. Today is different rules. Second day is going to be some different rule.
Right.
So you can understand what kind of chaos that was happened in that time.
Reserving the money to all the banks, I think it is 21.5% or it is somewhere 22%. That is called SLR, statutory liquidity ratio.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, that it should increase, or it's like enough to
In
maintain?
Indian condition, it is enough, sir.
It's enough.
It is enough.
What is the formula of the bank that gives interest?
Actually, we have to understand and what is the banking.
Yes.
Banks are basically business organization. They have to earn in order to operation or meet their operational cost in the country. Bank have to pay some kind of dividend to the Government of India as well. So bank have to basically maintain two type of interest. Like they have to maintain deposit interest and they have to get interest on the loans. So in general, deposit rates are lower than the loan rates.
All right. It's a very
Like
basic-
suppose bank are giving currently 7.5% on deposit rate. On loan rates are basically 8.5%. So 1% margin there, that basically meets the operational cost of the banks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That is why banks encourage to give you
Loans are basically known as assets of the banks, and
Right.
deposits are called as liability because
Liability.
bank have to pay some interest on deposit of customers.
exactly.
But we take interest on the loans we have given to the
But
customers.
it is like circulating the same amount.
almost.
I
almost.
take from the customers, I give to other customers.
Correct. It is a
Alright.
public money.
It's a public money, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
circulating just.
It is circulating in the system.
But don't you think like it is quite unmanageable thing that you are paying to your staffs? That's why banking system is actually moving towards digitalization. It is cutting off their staffs, right?
Come again, sir.
It's just moving towards the digitalization.
Mhm.
It's cutting off their staffs and all,
Mhm.
right? So don't you think that somewhere the banking is also be going completely on digital and on fingertip?
It is a global phenomena. We have to go with
Change.
that, right? And this basically some kind of smooth operation that gives to the bank, because we if you check the footfall in the banks of the customers, then we will be able to provide much adequate services to the customers.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I'll be back to you, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. For example, in previous month, if I analyze one of the business that got 5 lakhs rupees revenue, and in the next month, it got 4.5 lakhs revenue.
Yeah.
And in the next month, it got 6 lakhs revenue, and the next month, it got 3 lakhs revenue.
Yeah.
Would you like to blame the business, or you'd like to blame the operations, or you'd like to just blame the seasons of the business operations?
Yeah, definitely. First, we have to analyze what is the reason of lagging, where we are lagging. Suppose we have different departments like sales, marketing, production, and different types of departments. So first, we need to analyze which department is lagging. Suppose we are making a products. Suppose there's a quality issues. So in the market and customers, they are not going to purchase your products. So first we need to improve our quality.
Right.
So this is a production issue. So first, what is the cause of production issue? Why we are producing such type of product? So we have to analyze. So and business lagging, there's a different kinds of reason. Like suppose we are producing good quality, we are selling as a market and a good quantity. But sometimes in our business there's a loophole. Like some employees, they are getting their own some such type of illegal activities. So such type of activity we need to control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Business simple purpose is to serve, make profits.
Yes, that's a business.
No, I'm asking what should we choose, or both we should choose together? Business purpose is to serve or to gain the profit.
Gain the profit.
That's it.
That's it.
Not to serve.
Not to serve. Yeah, every business their
Not
own.
to serve. Are you sure that this is?
Yeah, their own profit to get the profit. If you are involved in business, then you will get the profit. Definitely, you try to get the profit.
If you're getting profit, so it means you are serving in a good way.
Yeah,
Basic
definitely.
statement.
Suppose you are investing 10 lakhs in your business. So suppose you need to you will try to get more and more like profit. Suppose you are investing 10 lakhs and you survive after 5 years in 10 lakhs. So why you will do it? Definitely, business is a purpose to make a profit. That is the business. Yeah, definitely.
All right. That's simple. Is that business?
That's simple.
Exchanging the services. You give service, you take money.
Yeah, definitely.
And you get profits.
Definitely, that is the
What
business.
if we are in loss? Should we shut the business?
No. We should first analyze the business. What is the reason where we are lagging? Suppose we are making a good product, but we are unable to sell. We are unable to sell it. So first we need to analyze why we are unable to sell. Where we are lagging. Suppose maybe our sales team is not performing as well as we want. So first that is the analyzing. We need to analyze why we are doing such type of activity. So yeah, this is the
Should there be department for each and every segment, or it should be somewhere balanced by single person, double task or double department?
If you want to develop such a good business, then we have two different departments.
We need different departments.
Yeah, definitely. We can analyze where is our lagging and where we perform better. So each departments report to the HOD and report to the CEO.
Let's come to one medical store. There is a medical store.
Yeah.
How many departments can be?
Yeah, suppose in a medical, suppose we have medical store. It's depend upon what is the criteria. Like we investing 100 CR in medical.
Just imagine it as 50 lakhs we have invested.
50 lakhs.
It's a kind of big medical store. 50 lakhs we have invested.
So in 50 lakhs investments, we need to some finance. We have to finance controller and as per operation manager we should here. So operation activity and selling like activity we need to manage.
But somehow he is saying that profit is important.
Yeah, profit is important, but I want to add one more thing that if you want, suppose you have to.
Yeah, you cannot get any single example who are surviving without profit in a market like 10 years, 20 years, 50 years.
Profit is important. Let him say. He will just give. Yes, Mr. Sujit.
Okay. But I want to add that you have to solve the big problem in the market. What the problem in the society? If you are solving that in the easy way, that's it. Maximum is the chance, is the probability that your business will be run. In the easier way, if you are solving it, that's good. It's a business. It may be in the starting you may be lost. It may be you earn money lesser profit, but in the future it must be profitable, or you have to track everything on the how much we will go in the profit way. Profit is important in the business. Without profit, it's not.
In the villages or in the rural sections, we see business people.
Yeah.
In different paradigm. We see like they are, and why it happens? I want to know. In city areas, in developed cities, it's like, okay, you're doing business, you're a very good person.
Yeah, yeah.
In rural, you're doing business like कि बस पैसा ही वाले हो, पैसा कमा रहे हो, तुम तो अब पाप करोगे.
Sir, actually,
Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's happening. And actually, they are not living in the business environment in the villages. There is very less person in the villages who is doing business. There are probably chances to maybe in the service sector, in the government services and other, they are prioritize it more. When they came in the market in the bigger city, they realized that no, business is a good thing, and businessmen, they respect also the businessmen.
There is a 4P formula, that's place, product, price, promotion.
Yeah, right.
This 4P formula is quite actually common in the marketing management.
Sir, every 4P is important. I can't place is definitely matters. Reason behind which type of business you are doing, is this the right place or not? You must be checking. This 4P should be in the starting. You must be check it. If your business is the right place, it's okay. You can start that business in that places. But is price matters, but you have to price. Price is a different thing. Means it may be profitable or loss, and how can you build that business?
But
How
somewhere
much
this may vary. Like if you talk about Jaguar, we talk about Lamborghini, Ferrari, BMW,
Yeah, yeah.
Mercedes,
Yeah.
Defender and all. So we can see the price is quite high. How this price what matters
Sir,
when you have the quality?
yeah. When you are providing the quality, and there's no as such competitor in that. No, it's my quality, and I will take that money. If you have any competitor have a chance, or any competitor has a quality, or just like as a himmat hai, then you can take, then you can take a charge, taking the charge.
Which company would be earning more money, like BMW or Renault or Tata or Maruti Suzuki? Let's imagine, or if you have the case studies, or let's do imagination.
Both companies are earning more money depending on
So who would be more richer? BMW.
because Tata is donating too much.
No,
money
not about
also.
donation. It's about making profits as a company owner. I'm talking about Maruti Suzuki is there, like Mahindra is there, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I'm talking about BMW. If it is BMW, so which company would be making more profits?
Sorry, it's I think I can't say that BMW is only earning.
As per investment, we can see Maruti Suzuki ratio is higher than BMW.
Ratio is higher. I'm talking
Sorry,
about
it's
profit.
I
Ratio.
want to just come there.
Yeah.
Actually, if you talk about the car market, there's a different distinction in between. If you talk about, this is on a regional level. The South Asian car market where Hyundai, Kia.
Yeah.
If you talk about the German car market, where BMW, Audi, and Mercedes are there, right? If you talk about American car market, Ford is there, right? If you talk about Indian car market, things are very different.
Yeah.
There's a Maruti, Tata, Mahindra,
Mahindra.
other players like that. So the thing is, this is not about only about investment. This is about the popularity.
Popularity.
And the historical perspective of it.
Right.
Like BMW is also investing in the car market, which is making the car like starting to 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, and also to the Bentleys, right? And Audi is also making like Rolls Royce. So
Right.
this is like the superficial level of profit, which is bringing into the research and development into that particular luxury market, and then pointing out to that.
Right.
Audi is also making Porsche, right?
Yeah.
So this is not about like Maruti started doing a luxury car market. They have started doing it as an XL, but not an ultra luxury segment, right? But if you have that money, and that money is really popular in bringing that luxury car market and getting popularity to the next level of audience, it depends on the population and the income of that region. So this is about the Indian car.
This is about. I think Indian car market is actually limited to the zone. It's growing,
Growing.
but not to that level that which has American or German have. Right. Last question, Mr.
Yeah,
Sujit.
yes, sir.
What is single formula to make our business the largest business, finest business, greatest business? Single formula.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah.
In the wrong direction.
In the right direction, or it may be longer. Consistency. You must be consistent in the right way.
Okay.
Definitely, business will grow.
Consistency.
Don't live.
Consistency, I think, is for those people who are like, going for Olympics or world championships, or the cricket players or the boxers and all. Consistency here, what do you think about the business consistency? It's like, putting your business on your shoulder and putting your shoulder down business is quite suppressing you or every time pressurizing you, or फिर अभी आप you are following consistency, don't you think it's somewhere?
Sir, every business, I think any startup, minimum at least the 1000 days to show up the is business is running or not, or is in the right way or wrong way. If you are going to leave that business in the 20 days or 200 days, it's can't say that your business in the right or wrong way. At least 1000 days must be
Okay,
taken.
thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, so are you developing the applications and apps and websites and all?
Yes.
Okay, so any application that you have developed for any agency or company or any particular
Yes,
person?
nowadays I'm working in a company which is related to travel.
Okay.
So we are working on that and we are developing for the B2B business.
Okay, B2B, business to
B2B,
business.
Business based one.
Okay.
And the travel, the like operators, they are using our apps.
Okay, great.
So this is a very big application which we are building. So last 3 years we are working on that. Now it is live on the Play Store.
Okay.
So there are many, we can say the operators are using the application. So I think this is a good opportunity for me that working in this industry. And
Why have you called it B2B? Why not B2C?
B2C because we are making the application, building the application for business people. So like we have option like Redbus, like we are booking the app on the like consumer to business. Like we are developing the application for the operators only. The operator will decide that the person, the users will use the application. Suppose I'm an operator and I want an app that all the users will come on the app. They will use my app.
Right.
So
Right.
that type of application we are creating on that.
Okay. So is it going to be, or it is going to be really so easy to gain the market?
Which one? This software
Industry, exactly. And the application you have developed.
Yes. Is it which application we are working on that?
That's a travel agent, travel
It
application.
is going up.
Okay.
Yeah, because when we are because that company already have a website, but that time user, or we can say the business that trying to book on the website, it is very complicated. That time, because we have an app, right? We directly open the app and book the application, book the booking.
All right. All right.
So that time there was no application. So that time that impacted the business.
okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tayab.